Genesis series. In this video, you'll see firsthand the results of the Genesis project in action. We'll talk about progress on the installation of equipment into NZI offices and outline the changes you can expect to see happening in your office shortly. We'll also preview the next phase in the Genesis process, the introduction of electronic mail and Lotus Smart Suite. By now, your office will have received a number of documents explaining each step of the Genesis process and your involvement in it. Technicians from Cray Communications will also have completed any required cabling. Work commenced on the installation phase of the project in mid-November. This involved the delivery of training workbooks, branch instruction manual, training PCs, and the installation of computer equipment into the first offices scheduled for fit-out of new equipment. To reach this stage, a number of preliminary tasks had to be completed. One of these tasks was to undertake usability testing. David Cannon explains.
Usability is a word we use to describe the process that we went through in order to road test our training, documentation and procedures before we released them to our staff. The usability sessions were conducted in an IBM laboratory in Melbourne in conjunction with a number of staff from selected Victorian offices. The IBM lab was set up to simulate as near as possible an everyday NZI working environment. Staff were asked to participate in a number of exercises, each designed to test a different segment of our training material. These sessions were videotaped and then reviewed by the developers of the training material and documentation to see which sections worked and which sections still required further work.
As a result of the usability sessions, a number of enhancements and refinements were then made to our training material. Here's Catherine Grenfell to give us an update.
Firstly, we were able to ensure that our branch instruction manual and training workbooks are fully compatible and that they work together in the right sequence. Secondly, as a result of our enhancements, we are confident that the training documentation is now much more effective in terms of both presentation and communication.
The training workbooks which every staff member will receive have been designed to cater to every level of expertise, ranging from staff who've never used a PC to those who are comfortable and familiar with PCs and their applications. Usability also allows us to fine-tune procedures in the branch instruction manual. Lee Brown explains.
The new Business Services Branch Instruction Manual will provide detailed instructions and procedures on the new systems and equipment. Our objective has been to put in place a permanent reference document which is easily accessed and readable by our staff. The usability testing has helped us to achieve this objective.
The next critical step for the Genesis team involved obtaining the assistance of a person in each NZI office to act as our central point of contact, someone who could assist us with a smooth transition to the new computer equipment. This person is the System Coordinator. Gary Sherwood describes their role.
The Systems Coordinator in your office will perform a number of critical tasks. They will be preparing a training schedule that will allow you sufficient time on the training PC. They will also be identifying any files on existing PCs that need to be transferred to the new equipment to allow you to continue to do your job. After the rollout is complete, the Systems Coordinator will be performing a number of minor technical tasks on behalf of Business Services.
With all of the preparation work completed, work then started on installation. One of the first offices to receive the new equipment was Newcastle. Brandon Willoughby outlines the activities you can expect to see happen in your office when installation occurs.
A couple of weeks before installation, we received written notification of the dates that the installation was to commence. We also received details of the tasks that we needed to perform before the installation could commence. Shortly after this, our training documentation and training PC arrived. The training PC had been set up so that the staff could familiarise themselves with a PC or just acquaint themselves with any changes they'd see. On the scheduled installation day, technicians from Cray Communications arrived. To minimise disruption, we had already worked out an installation sequence for the technicians to follow.
One of the first things the technicians will do is install your Office file server. File server is the PC that will run the local area network, or LAN, in your office. All of your files and applications, such as WordPerfect and Lotus, will be stored here. This will allow you to log on to any PC to write a letter, print a file, or share information with others. Backups of your data will also occur every night so that you have the security of never losing your valuable work. The next item on the installation schedule will then be the new laser printers. Richard Pugh explains.
As part of the installation process, we will be installing Lexmark laser printers. The laser printers come equipped with 3 paper trays, one for normal letterhead, one for blank paper, and the other for policy schedules. Initially, the laser printers will be only used to print letters and spreadsheets from your existing software applications, such as WordPerfect and Lotus 123. The third paper tray, to be used for policy schedules, will be available for use after cutover to the new IBM host next year.
Once this equipment has been installed, technicians will commence work on the installation of new PCs for Office staff. By this time, your system coordinator will have prepared a list of files that you need transferred to the Office LAN. This means that you'll still have access to all of the files and information you need to perform your work. When the installation technicians have left, you can then continue to use your existing applications like WordPerfect and Lotus. Access to policy using Pi will now be available to all NZI offices. Remember, policy itself is not changing. We're simply converting it from concurrent equipment to run on the new IBM computers. Warren Sly describes some of the advantages you'll experience when using Pi.
Pi looks exactly the same as policy. We've not made any changes to the layout or sequence of any of the screens within the policy system. One of the greatest advantages I can see in using Pi is that it provides access to tools such as pick lists. Pick lists display a range of information and statistical codes which are used in different fields to save you the time of having to look them up in crib books. Messages will appear on fields in risk screens providing hints on the sort of information that is required. Pi also defaults information from one screen to the next. The best example I can think of would be when processing Easy Pay check requisitions on the creditor system. Basically, Pi improves the accuracy and quality of the stats and codes and also makes the input process much easier for you.
We understand that the introduction of so much new equipment requires a lot of support. To that end, we've developed a new 008 help desk facility that will provide you with the highest level of support throughout the installation process. Julie Edwards explains.
During the installation period, we'll have extra staff available on the help desk. We'll also have extra staff in PC support and within business services to cope with any additional calls we may receive. We've put procedures in place to ensure that all calls are answered within a satisfactory time frame. This means that if one person is not available to attend to your query, your call will automatically be diverted to another staff member.
While installation of equipment into NZI offices is being finalised, the Genesis team will commence work on the next phase of the project, the installation of electronic mail and Lotus Smart Suite. This will be explained in more detail in the next video, which is scheduled for release towards the end of February. In the meantime, Clayton Rumble will give us a short summary.
The delivery of Lotus Smart Suite and electronic mail will commence after the installation of new equipment. By choosing a standard package such as Lotus Smart Suite, we will be able to align the skills of staff across the country. You'll be able to easily share information and files with any office and take advantage of standard company formats that can be developed to help you. Standard memos and letters can be automated to save you the time and effort of creating them yourself, and at the same time improve correspondence standards across the company.
Electronic mail will be delivered to coincide with the introduction of Lotus Smart Suite. Initially, this will only be available to the manager and system coordinator in each office, providing them with the facility to inquire on the status of system problems. Once the full requirements and procedures have been finalised, electronic mail can then be extended to other staff as requested. Work is continuing on the porting segment of the Genesis project. This involves the conversion of policy from our existing concurrent machines to the new IBM equipment. Here's Mark Webb with an update.
In the last video, I explained some of the challenges we were facing in stabilising our development environment. I'm pleased to report that over the last month we've turned to a very stable environment, having a system availability at around 95% each week. That's greatly assisted us in the development work we have to do, and we're very confident about our outlook for the new year and the completion of this porting project. In undertaking a project of this size, we have to manage a whole lot of very complex issues. And to assist us in that, we engaged KPMG as our external auditors to come in and give us an external view of the work we were doing and the progress we were making. That process has been very helpful to us and the team to enable us to see some of the risks that we faced and some that we weren't quite as clear on as we should have been, which we've made modification for. I know everyone's really keen to know when we finish the porting project and cutting over from the concurrent systems to the new IBM equipment. With the problems that I've identified in our development environment and the change to the relocation schedule for our Brisbane branch, the rollout of the equipment for Brisbane and Queensland will now be later than we anticipated, taking us into February, early March. For these reasons, it will now look most likely that our cutover will happen in the second quarter. Again, as soon as we know that, we'll let you know either through the video or through the bulletin board. We've made tremendous progress in 1994. A lot of hard work by the business services team and those in operations who've been assisting us. We're about to take a break for Christmas and to recharge our batteries. We're back in 95 to finish the project, to move ourselves to the new platform and to begin enhancing policy again and rolling out that Smart Suite software, which is going to be so much help to the branches in 95 and beyond.
Finally, we answer some of your questions. Watch out for the next issue of In Focus, which will contain more information in answer to your queries. Will all PCs have their own printer?
Like your current printers, the laser printers will be located in a central area for all staff to use. For those staff members who already have their own laser printer, you will continue to use them.
What will happen in bonus sites?
Bonus sites will not get new PCs. They will retain their existing dumb terminals. Consequently, there should be very little, if any, impact on these sites. They will access policy as they always have.
What is an NZI desktop?
The NZI desktop is the new menu system that will be available on all NZI PCs. Like any menu system, the desktop will continue to give you access to all your existing applications, such as WordPerfect, Grape, Lotus and Pi. And furthermore, your applications will continue to work as they always have.
Will it be possible to switch between WordPerfect and Policy without having to exit each application?
Yes, by using the new NZI desktop, you'll be able to have several applications such as WordPerfect and Policy running at the same time. This will enable you to simply switch from one screen to another when you need to do your work. This will be explained more fully in the training material we will be sending you shortly.
The next Genesis update video will be released towards the end of February next year. We appreciate your feedback, so please keep those questions coming. In the meantime, we'd like to wish you and your families a safe and happy Christmas. See you in the new year.